In this video, we'll go over list comprehensions. So you can see the structure here. A list comprehension will take a variable name, we'll put the square brackets to create a list, and inside that the square brackets here, we'll have an expression, and we have parents of for loop here, for variable in some sort of iterable. We could use a list or something else, or the range function or whatever, and then we can put an optional Boolean expression at the end. And this will build a list based off what we passed inside of here. So to illustrate how this works, first I'm going to go ahead and create a for loop here to create a list of numbers from 1 to 15 by using this list, and creating a new list of all the numbers under 10. And then once we do it with the for loop, then I'll go ahead and do it with list comprehension to kind of show how it works with that. So first things first, let's go ahead and create a new variable name under 10 equals an empty list. This will hold every number inside of our numbers list that's under 10. So for number in numbers, if number is less than 10, under 10 dot append number. So all we're doing here is we're just looping over all of our numbers inside of our numbers list. If the number is less than 10, then we're going to add it to our under 10 list here. And of course I can down here, I can print it out. Save that, and we can go ahead and open that up real quick. And then we can go ahead and run Python 3 manage and then tutorial.py, and we get 1 through 9. And so we built a list using this for loop by appending it to a new list. But we can do it much easier by using a list comprehension. So using the same structure here, we can rewrite this. So I'm going to go ahead and just comment out all of this. We can rewrite this using a list comprehension. So what we'll do is we'll say under 10 equals square brackets, and then our expression here will just be number for number in numbers. So this right here is just our for loop. So we're taking this line right here, or really these two lines right here, and turning into this. And this, if we did this alone, go ahead and just print this out, and come back here and run this. We get all of our numbers. So all we're doing here is looping over all of our numbers and adding them to the list. If we want to go ahead and make it only this if less than 10, we can add that here after the numbers. So if number is less than 10, and now with that optional Boolean expression, if we come back here and we run this again, then we only get all the numbers under 10. So that's all we're doing here. This is our expression. In this case, all we're doing is adding the number to the list. We're not doing anything else with it. We'll go through some other examples later on what else we could do here. We have our loop here for number in numbers, and then we have our optional expression here at the end. Okay, let's go over a few more examples how this works. Let's go ahead and create a list of numbers up to 50 by using the range function. So we'll do something similar to what we did here, but we're going to change it up just a little bit. So for example, we can do up to 50 equals square brackets to create our list comprehension, x for x in range 51. And if you're not familiar with the range function, this will create a list of numbers up to but not including the number we pass in. This is the equivalent of doing 0, 51, but this first number is not required if we want to start from 0. If you want to start from 5 or something, you need to put both numbers in. But in this case, since we're starting at 0, only one argument is fine. And this will go up to but not including this number. So up to not including 51 will give us up to 50, which should match what we want here. Let's save that. Let's go ahead and print that out real quick. To 50. Come back here, we run that again, and we get 0 all the way up to 50. Okay, so that's working good. And there's a quick example about how we can use a different type of iterable, in this case the range function, instead of just a hard-coded list. So that's an option as well if you need to do that for something that you're using. Okay, I'm going to comment these out and we're going to keep going. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these expressions, but with a more advanced optional Boolean expression at the end. So in this case, I want to get all the numbers from this numbers list up here. I want to get all of them that are greater than 3 but less than 12. So we can do this. I'll create other numbers variable here, and once again do a list comprehension. And the beginning will be just the same as it was before. X for x in numbers, or number for number in numbers, either one. And then our optional expression here, if x is greater than 3 and x is less than 12. So we can use and or anything else here to create a more advanced conditional expression if you need to. And this one will get everything between these two numbers. Let's go ahead and print that out and check that it works. And there we go. Now we get 4 to 11, which is between 3 and 12. So that worked well. Okay, let's go ahead and go over one more example real quick. And this one will be taking this expression here. And all of our previous examples, all we did was just add the number to the list. Let's go ahead and add some extra stuff here. So we can put any sort of Python expression before the for loop or before the for syntax there. So for example, let's take the numbers 0 through 9 and let's multiply it by 3 and create a list with those numbers. So we can do times 3 equals square brackets for our list comprehension, I times 3. And now this is our expression. Instead of just putting I like we did before, we can go ahead and just do I times 3 as an expression as well for I in range 10. And once again, this range will return a list of 0 through 9. We're taking every number inside of that list, iterating over it, setting that value to I, taking I and multiply by 3. So we get 0 times 3, 1 times 3, 2 times 3, 3 times 3, all the way up to 9 times 3. Let's go ahead and print out this times 3 list now. Run that, and now we get 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. And that is correct. 9 times 3 is 27, so we have all of them up to 9 times 3. And there are a few quick examples about how to use list comprehensions. Hopefully that gets you started. It's a lot easier and more concise than writing out this whole for loop that we did first, but it's doing the exact same thing. Hopefully you can see how we're pulling out the different pieces and putting them all inside of the square brackets here. Under 10 is the variable name. We have our loop here. We still have our loop inside of the square brackets, and we still have our conditional as well inside the square brackets. So hopefully that makes sense of how we can put those together to create lists in one line instead of having to create a big for loop to do so. All of the code for this will be in the description below. If you have any more questions, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.